Guys, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go ahead and take a moment to arrive together in the Rise and Shine practice. If you're new to this practice and you are just joining us, you want to go ahead and look in the description box below this video, and you will find a link to the PDF that we are working from. And then from there, you can go ahead and print that out, and then you'll have that to follow along with. So we're going to begin our time together in the same way we begin all of our moments of conscious awareness, and that is to first pause and take a moment to notice how we are connected to and supported by the place where we are seated. Let's go ahead and take a moment to notice how we are held by our seats. And as you are noticing how you are held by the place that you are seated, we're invited to take a moment and notice which part of your body feels the most held. And as you feel that, we're saying, letting our brain see, here is where I am already supported. Here is where I am already supported, right where I am seated. You want your brain to take a moment and see that and allow your body a moment to rest into that. Let your brain see it. And then allow your body to rest into it. And then we want to take a moment to notice, what does that quality of support feel like? What does that quality of support feel like? I'm going to go ahead and write that down to your journal. And if you can, you want to go ahead and draw it into your diagram. And you're letting your brain see this quality of experience or this quality of support, it belongs to me. So you want to go ahead and take a moment to receive that. This belongs to me. I even will highlight that and then let my brain feel it again. Allow my brain and my body to feel it again. And then from that place of receiving that quality of experience, you want to take a moment and notice, what is the challenge that you are facing into today? In your experience, what is the challenge you are facing into? And we want to draw that onto, you're going to write that down, but you want to feel where does that come alive in your system, and you want to draw that onto your journal. And as you write that down, we want to feel it and then begin to turn and look into the room, making more space in our emotional sensory core. And we can look up and down. And then from that place, you want to take a moment to recognize, how does your brain see you as you are relating to this challenge today? And then how do you speak about this challenge? And what is your impulse to behave as you face into this challenge? And take a moment again, you're going to refresh your awareness of what is the quality of support that you're feeling through the place where you are seated. Take a moment and notice that again. And then what are the emotions and the sensations that are evoked when you are experiencing this challenge? And you want to notice, where do you feel that come alive within your system, the emotions and the sensations that come up? Where do you feel those occurring in your system? You want to take a moment and do that on in your journal. And how does your breathing respond to this challenge today? You want to read back that challenge and you want to notice how your breathing responds to that. And in the past, when you have faced into a challenge like this one today, how did that play out? What was the outcome for you? And the present challenge makes you think what will happen in your future. So we want to take a moment from a seated position. And if you have, I'm sitting with my legs crossed, I can push my knees down with my arms and then pull my knees back up into my hands. So it's like I'm pushing down, but then I'm pulling back up with my legs to activate my hip flexors and my arms. So you want to just be able to feel how that works your system, and you want to be able to see if you can feel the emotion that's coming up as you're facing into this challenge, and see if you can activate your hands and your feet and your face, allowing that emotion to fully be there. And then we're going to turn side to side in the room. You're letting the aliveness of the experience be there, and then we're holding it with the support that is being provided. So you can take a moment, and we're going to start with our brain. And you want to write down, you're going to use your name. What is the response or the impression that you are able to intuit as you are being held in that support and holding the experience that you're facing? And then we notice I speak about today's challenge like, and we're just taking a moment to hold. And you want to write down the response in your journal. You want to write the response to that. And the emotions and the sensations that are coming up with that. Where do you feel that in your system, and how do you bring support to that area, to those areas? And the same is true with your breathing. Where do you feel that come alive? And then you want to take a moment and notice how it played out in the past. And can you hold that part of yourself that went through that in the past? Can you bring that part of yourself back into relationship with being held by this support that's holding you right now today? And then what does this challenge make you think is going to happen in the future? You're taking a moment to really feel the aliveness of that and letting that be held by God, held by the support through the place where you're seated. So one of the things that is really helpful to be able to do is when you feel the aliveness of whatever the challenges that you're facing, you want to be able to mobilize that, let that be there. So um, and let it engage. So if I feel like I have anxiety up through my center line or in my legs or in my arms, I want to actually press down and lift my legs up so that my arms and my legs and my core are all engaged until I feel that the anxiety has spent. And when I'm doing that, I'm listening to what is moving through my mind. So see if you can notice what is the emotion that's coming up in your challenge today. And I can even open up the mics to see if you guys are getting this. Um, so I'm able to engage it, but it's a very soft engagement, and I'm speaking what I am feeling to my divine connection. I'm speaking it because my divine connection is to Jesus and to God and to the Holy Spirit. So I'm saying this is what is on a general level causing me anxiety today. And this is where I feel that come alive in me. This is where I feel it becomes embedded in my system and dysregulates me. And so I'm engaging it and I'm speaking to Christ and hearing what impressions are being given back to me, or where am I, what messages am I getting back? Are you guys able to feel that when that you can engage it? Do you guys feel that in your space? Are you able to do that? Does that make sense, or is that confusing?
It makes sense.
And how does it feel when you are able to do that?
I kind of feel the core of my trunk coming alive. I
Mm-hmm.
feel very subtle movement and
Mm-hmm.
on and off. It's like waves, not anything dramatic, but there's movement, and my what I'm watching is anxiety, nervousness, anticipation.
Uh-huh. So one of the things is when I'm engaging, I want to engage gently but fully, thoroughly, so I can feel that both of my arms, both of my legs, my full core, maybe even my jaw are all coming together and engaging. So the actual engagement is not subtle. It's actually very thorough and complete. It's gentle, but it's very, very strong. You're going to feel your strength getting more and more alive. And it's like a full embodiment of that experience. And then you're going to feel like this, then it can integrate, then it moves into order. Because when it's in that state where it's just like creating dysfunction in our system and taking my mind in 100 directions, it's like that is chaos in my system. And I want to be able to bring that experience of chaos into order. So I'm letting my full body experience it, engage with it. And then I'm feeling the emotional sensory experience of what is the support like now. So see if you guys can feel that. Feel whatever emotion is happening. I'm pushing down and I'm lifting up with my legs, and I'm feeling all four limbs connecting and engaging. And then I release that. And again, I'm noticing how I am connected to the place where I'm seated. I can even move my emotional sensory core bigger and smaller. What do you guys feel happen? Notice what happens to how your mind is functioning. Notice what happens to the experience of that emotion. What do you guys notice?
I notice more space and a clarity and clearing.
Hold on, I can't hear.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I feel more space open,
Uh-huh.
and then it feels like a clarity and a clearing that comes through.
Yep.
I had a lot of like a crushing feeling that I felt, and so
Yep.
I couldn't see or separate any of the emotions or feelings, but now I can very clearly see them and
Uh-huh.
articulate them and feel that there's space for them to be there.
Yep. Yep. So let's watch what happens. So how many do you have? How many emotions do you have?
Oh, I have like 10
Okay.
that came
So
out.
that do you so
Feelings and emotions, like pain and emotions.
okay. Let's do them. Let's do them. So we're gonna do one at a time and see if you can distinguish what is the facial expression, what is the expression of the hands, and what is the expression of my feet too, even just from this seated position. I'm sitting cross-legged, so it's kind of a little easier. If I do it with my legs straight and I'm doing just the hip flexor, it's harder for me to engage my foot expression, if that makes sense. When I'm cross-legged, because my hips can do that, it's a little easier for my nervous system to engage my foot expression. But just whatever your body's able to do, just see if you can feel it. But let's go with your first emotion, the first one that comes up. I'm going to go with my first one. I'm going to do 10 experiences, and you guys do 10 experiences about what you're facing into today, and let's go through it. So feel where you experience it, and then we're going to take a breath in. Feel the support you're being given, and then take another breath in, and you're going to engage that first emotion, and you're talking about it to the God that you are connected to. This is what I'm feeling. This is how this comes alive in my arms, my legs, and my core, and in my face. And then release that down for a minute. And notice one change that comes physiologically, physically with that experience. So you want to name one change that goes next to that experience. So for me, I had, let's say I started with anxiety. I experienced an openness in through my core where before it was very tight and very chaotic and uncomfortable. What is the one experience that you noticed that came out of that? And you guys can both answer. What is the one experience that you felt that it changed to after you did that move?
The butterflies in the pit of my stomach kind of, they're not there anymore. It's like they melted.
Yeah. And that goes with, so that's butterflies in the stomach, and then they're not there anymore. So what is there?
A sense of peace.
Okay. So butterflies turn into peace. So put those two together. And you're letting your brain see when I allow the butterflies to be there and when I engage with it, my physiology is able to move into a state of peace. How about the other participant? What was the first, and then what was the change that happened?
The first one was exhaustion. And then I could feel the strength come through.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could sit up completely straight and I don't feel exhausted anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Also try, guys, you can, instead of pushing down, you can also push your arms back, and I can push my feet into the floor. So I could do a backline push. You want to see which one feels like it's the right direction for whatever the thing is you're feeling. So let's pick our next one. And we don't necessarily have to say on these moving forward what your initial one is, but you can say what the opening is, okay? So let's go ahead. You're going to re-feel your support, refresh your awareness of the support that's being provided. And then we're going to push back and down. And as you feel like it's done, then you can come back. Notice what that feels like to have done the back line with it. To me, as I do that with the back line, then I feel an emotion that I would normally, well, the one I was feeling was annoyance, very annoyed. And when I do that movement and I really let the annoyance be there and I'm speaking to God about it and why, I get a permission to have it, and then it turns into a capacity to stay kindly connected to the situation and the individuals involved in the situation in a state of kindness, because I can really respectfully let that experience move in me until it is in a state of order and safety. What happens for you guys? What do you notice?
I felt space opening in my chest, which then allowed kind of this acid, irritated feeling. There was just more space for it. And then instead of everything feeling like it's coming up, I now feel like it's open so that things can flow, so it can flow down.
Yeah.
And I also had that feeling of it's okay to be there.
Yeah.
I don't have to be angry that I'm having that feeling. And with
Right.
that, and then the pushing back, it's like it completely opened that space up.
Yeah. So there's three more moves, which I'll explain them, but then I'm going to go ahead and let us get back into our days and we can practice them. The other one would be if I have my feet flat, on the floor, or at least down, and my arms are at my sides and I'm squeezing everything in. So it would be my ankles, my knees, my hips, my elbows, my hands, my head, and my core, and I'm squeezing everything in. So it would be like this, and my legs squeezing all the way in each of those joints. You're feeling them come together. And then release and feel that difference, whatever that is. I'm speeding this up because we're not going to go on and on today. We need to be done. And then the other one that's interesting, and you'd have to really use yoga belts for this one, but you'd put a yoga belt around your legs and actually around your forearms. So it would be two yoga belts and you're pushing out. And that one is a really interesting one. I'm not going to get into too much of the details with that, but that pushing out and feeling the outer strength is very connected to boundaries and being able to mobilize boundaries. So that would be another one that you could do. You could do any of these repetitively. And then the third one would be twisting. So I'm actively pushing my hand on this leg while this leg is pushing out, and I'm turning. So I'm pushing in and pushing out, and you're engaging that side. All the way to your feet, all the way to your face. Same thing in the other direction. And then coming back. And those are essentially what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are 5 pretty basic mobilizing positions that will help intense experiences that are creating a significant dysregulation happening in the body where we can't even get back to our clear direction and clear focus. One of those will be helpful. All of those is extremely extremely helpful. And what we can do is in class this week, in the advanced class, we can go through those with more detail. But those are really good ones to see. Notice even just the feeling of having that full body mobilization. What do you feel right now compared to when we first began today? What is your takeaway?
I feel like I just went through a complete like cardio exercise. I feel that level of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started, like my entire body was hunched over and I just was pulled in. I really felt physically very sick.
Yeah.
But then after the movements, everything just is straight and open. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And that's our physical journey with it. We want to be able to also bring the relational journey. Not that we're talking about that right now, but I just want to make this point that this is not only a physical movement. This is a relational, bringing these emotions that normally would be embedded in states of chaos, pulling me all directions but my center, but my purpose with this circumstance. So as I am engaging the emotion, I'm speaking that to the divine, saying, this is what I'm feeling. You're going to be getting, number one, the reparenting of the divine, saying, first of all, you're allowed to have that emotion. And secondly, here's where that can actually flow when there's a place for that to go. And here's how you are to respond, or here's what you're able to do. But you can feel when there's 10 of these different emotions going all in different directions, you're going to start to feel why it makes sense that you feel the way you do.
I also got those. I got insights on what it was, and just a feeling of being more capable and able to listen. It just everything feels clear.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not being electrocuted by chaotic places that have nowhere to go. And so then you feel like you have nowhere to go with it, you know? And so you're going to get that clear direction in the brain because, again, this is all also biochemical. So when my biochemistry is able to engage and the whole body is able to experience and engage with and be mobilized in the emotion, and it's not just in one area and I'm reactively responding to it, and it's like it's wreaking chaos in one part of my body that's like super intense. When we're bringing it in through the extremities, through the hands, the feet, the face, it like makes it so small in its intensity. And then everything becomes capable. And then you can hear direction on what it is you're meant to be doing with it. And it starts bringing these big experiences into a place of order where they have a place that they can flow. How about the other participant? What do you notice with what you're facing today?
It's interesting. I started with three emotions and sensations, but as we're going through this, it's very helpful to engage those exercises you showed us, and then it's like layers.
Yeah.
I noticed like a big yawn,
Yeah.
and then we go on, and I'm thinking, oh, now I feel really exhausted. I couldn't even feel that before.
Yeah.
Um, so that would be the next one for me to work with.
Right.
It's very empowering in a healthy way to do these exercises.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll be very helpful.
Yeah. And we'll go over them again in more detail on Wednesday in our participation class, and then also on Friday. So we'll then do the movement then with the massage part. So at this point, you want to do like maybe one or two of those. You wouldn't want to necessarily do all of them because you want to do one or two and then go into a rest practice. So right now, even if you only have 10 minutes for rest, whatever time you have for the rest, go and do a rest practice so that those pathways can be integrated and then come out. And then when you come out, you'll notice through the day, do I have anything else coming up? What position, what motion makes that feel the most engaged? It would be the word I'm looking for. I want to engage it very safely and then be in conversation with the divine. I'm not just engaging it to be reactively doing it. It's not like how in the therapy they would have you beat into a pillow. That's not what we're doing. It's not like that. So, very cool. Well, I hope you guys have a good day, and let's take a moment and just connect with and thank the divine source, the God that we each serve, and the God that walks with us. And for me, that God is my living Jesus Christ. I say, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for this guidance, this power, and this amazing life possibility. I look forward to seeing you guys at the 8:30 class tonight live if you're going to be with us. And if not, I look forward to seeing you when it suits your schedule next. Have a great day. Take care.